My journey ends, but Dilbert lives on.
Why Scott Adams is trending today. Today, Scott Adams, the creator of the iconic comic strip Dilbert, is trending on Google USA because news has just broken that he has died at age 68 after battling aggressive prostate cancer. The announcement was made by his former wife, Shelley Miles, during a live stream where she read out Adams' farewell message written before his death. Reuters. In addition to mourning the loss of a well-known cartoonist, social media and mainstream outlets are buzzing because of the controversies that surrounded his later career, including racist remarks, political commentary, and the decline of the Dilbert franchise. Hindustan Times. Let's break down who Scott Adams was, what happened to him, why people are searching his name, and the full legacy, both positive and negative, he left behind. #Artist Palette. Who was Scott Adams? Scott Raymond Adams was an American cartoonist, author, and commentator born on June 8, 1957, in Windham, New York. He is best known as a creator of Dilbert, the comic strip that hilariously satirized corporate life, office politics, management klutzes, and cubicle culture. Wikipedia. Adams originally worked in corporate jobs before becoming a full-time cartoonist in the 1990s. Wikipedia. Dilbert debuted in 1989 and grew into one of the most widely syndicated strips, appearing in thousands of newspapers worldwide, reaching millions daily. Forbes. The comics were known for skewering everything from pointless meetings to clueless bosses, resonating especially with white-collar professionals. Money Control. His early success also led to best-selling books like The Dilbert Principle and a multimedia brand with merchandise and licensing deals, generating estimated revenues in the hundreds of millions. Forbes. Chart with upward trend, the rise of Dilbert. Dilbert became more than a comic strip. It was a cultural phenomenon. Heavy checkmark seen as the voice of disillusioned office workers. Heavy checkmark entered global syndication by the mid-1990s. Heavy checkmark Adams earned awards and accolades for his sharp, witty critique of corporate absurdity. Money Control. Forbes. AP News. Millions could relate to Dilbert because it turned everyday office pains into humor. Useless meetings, pointless bureaucracy, and overcomplicated corporate rituals. This connection made the comic universally popular, particularly in the tech and white-collar workforce. Money Control. Warning sign controversies that defined his later years. Despite his success, many remember Adams not just for Dilbert, but for controversy. Racist comments in 2023. In 2023, Scott Adams hosted his show Real Coffee with Scott Adams and made highly controversial remarks regarding race, stating that black Americans were a hate group and encouraging white people to distance themselves from black people. This triggered a massive backlash across news and social platforms. Hindustan Times +1. Hundreds of newspapers dropped Dilbert from their syndications shortly afterward. Syndicate contract were cancelled. Money Control. Critics labeled the comments as racist and unacceptable, causing many publications to sever ties with Adams. AP News. This event was a major turning point, effectively ending the mainstream life of Dilbert in newspapers and forcing Adams to refocus his brand online and independently. Money Control. Political commentary and online persona. In later years, Adams became a public political commentator, especially from the mid-2010s onward. Pushpin, he publicly supported ex-President Donald Trump and became known for conservative commentary. Pushpin, he hosted daily live streams and podcasts discussing politics, culture, and societal issues. Time. Reuters. These moves polarized audiences, earning him praise among some conservative groups and criticism among liberals and moderates. Cancer diagnosis and final days. In May 2025, Scott Adams announced he had been diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer, which had already spread to his bones, a terminal condition. He shared his health struggles openly. Cancer treatments failed to stop the progression. By early 2026, Adams was in hospice care and losing the ability to walk. Reddit. On January 13, 2026, his ex-wife Shelley Miles announced his passing and read his final written message, expressing gratitude for his life and encouraging people to pay it forward. Reuters. Bar chart net worth and legacy. At the time of his death, Scott Adams' net worth was estimated at around $20 million, earned through comics, books, licenses, and speaking engagements. International Business Times UK. Pushpin Dilbert influenced office humor for decades. Pushpin, his books and podcasts expanded his reach. Pushpin, but his legacy is mixed, admired for early work, criticized for divisive later statements. Money Control. Yahoo. AP News. Bullseye why people are searching him now. Here's why all these search terms you saw are trending. Scott Adams. People want to know who he was. Dilbert. His signature creation. Scott Adams cancer. Public discussion about his cancer battle. Scott Adams death. Major breaking news about his passing. Dilbert creator trending. Search volume surges after news breaks. Scott Adams net worth. People curious about his wealth at death. Coffee with Scott Adams, his podcast and platform until the end. All of these reflect interest in both his life achievements and controversies that reshaped his public image. Scott Adams represents a complex figure in modern pop culture. Heavy checkmark # a genius satirist who understood office life. Heavy multiplication sign # a highly controversial figure whose rhetoric alienated many. Heavy checkmark # a public commentator who attracted dedicated audiences. Heavy multiplication sign # a man whose final chapters were dominated by health struggles and public scrutiny. His story tells us that today's creators can influence millions, but their legacy can be reshaped by choices, controversies, and how they interact with society. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to stay updated moment by moment with trending and breaking topics from around the world, make sure to follow Google Trends, subscribe, and share. We bring you the latest trends, viral stories, and hot news every day so you never miss out on the most interesting and current topics worldwide. Your subscribe and follow motivate us to keep delivering more exciting and trending content directly to you. Thank you very much for watching Google Trends.